heading up, hopefully to sunnier skies. I am underbiked today, so riding my ancient Fisher Coo. Got my thumb shifters and almost dark, but actually it's pretty late in the morning. Probably my last ride of the season. Lots of deer tracks down there. Makes sense because there's lots of deer. Right now I'm on the fire road and it's super foggy. It's super pretty, but I have to admit it's a little eerie. So right now I'm heading up this part of the road and the sun is just starting to break through. So it's sort of half and half. Officially broken through. Pretty much clear skies up there. How's it going?
Good. It's a grueling one.
You bet. That was one extreme compared to the other, technology-wise. Anyway, here I go again. I didn't think he was going to choose this inside line, so that's why I picked it. The mighty Siskiyous, and my favorite natural effect in this land.
Here's a better pic of what I'm trying to show you, which was also taken this morning.
Not so favorite is the bear poop. Hopefully it doesn't mean we're going to see some bears today. I would rather not. Some rare walkers on a trail this high with dogs. So funny, so it turns out that I knew that couple. So stopped and had a nice chat up in the hills. But just another bonus about living in a small community like this is here we don't really have 6 degrees of separation. We have at the most 1. Pretty cool. I know I'm stopping a lot on the way up, but gosh, I just can't help it. So beautiful here. Just amazing. And just between us, I also got married up here. World's smallest wedding. It's just me and my very soon-to-be wife. Best man, maid of honor, officiate, and the officiate's significant other, which was also our camera person. That was it. Very good call. We call this section here the leaf turn, L-E-A-F. So what I try to do when I'm really struggling is focus on a leaf and then just pedal for that. So that one right there. And then once I get to it, pick another leaf right there. Get to that. I don't know why my changes slipped. Not good. Made it. Still Manzanita at this level. No fog. And more we'll start to see evergreens.
The lower part of this section is called 300, as in Forest Service Road 300.
This thing runs all the way around the watershed. Really pretty once you get up here, and most of it's a pretty easy ride. And especially this time of year, it's rare to see anybody. What I'm doing today is rickety, and eventually I'll take this all the way down. So this is not the route for you if you don't like pedaling up. So a little bit of down here. You can see it's short, right? Just 0.8, but really a fun, pretty trail. And like you already know, I'm underbiked. There it is. So I definitely am not as aggressive on this bike than I am when I'm riding my slash or my rail on these trails. But I think it's kind of like fishing. If you ever fish and you're using an ultralight setup, right? So you know that when you're hooked up on ultralight, that fish feels a lot bigger than it is if you're using a heavier line and a more robust rig. So same thing here. These trails are just more fun and exciting when I'm on an underbike situation. Rigid makes me feel every little bump. Very different experience, and also a different set of riding skills, which I enjoy employing as well. So here, there's been this tree down, so it can't go straight anymore. You gotta go up and over. They generally do pretty well keeping these trails clean. Shout out to the trail maintenance folks. So I got no suspension, no dropper, just legs. That's my suspension. 26-inch tires and 40-some-year-old mountain bike. You want an underbike, you can probably pick up a decent bike that'll get you down the trail for sure less than 200 bucks. Probably closer to 50 if you shop around, especially if you know what you're doing in terms of maintenance. There are literally tens of thousands of these things for sale right now all across the country and the world. Everybody's got to have the newest, latest, and greatest. I was just online looking at the high pivots. So that's the newest generation of mountain bikes. You got to have a high pivot with all these extra idlers and stuff. So adding weight, whoa, adding weight and robustness, I guess, and you know, so it's a more plush ride. As if you really need a more plush ride. So spending another, I don't know, for sure upwards of $5,000 to get that bike that you want. Is it gonna make you happier? I don't know. Hope so. But in your defense, I gotta say, I do love my slash and I do love my rail. So hey, you know, here I am throwing sand when the truth is I do get happiness out of those rides too. Yes, so cool. I love this part of the trail, so pretty. Makes me want to go slow just because it's so pretty, but it is fun to go a little fast. Like I said though, I'm really not flying on this bike. keep plenty busy without having to get a whole lot of speed. So we're just about done on this trail, honestly. For sure more than halfway. Yeah, okay. Whoa. For me on this bike, that felt really hot. And here's a low bridge. Following Manzanita. Whoa. This is going to drop me off at the bottom. It's Horn Gap Road, and that'll hook back up again on the lower section, 2060 Fire Road, and then I'll stake my way back up. So basically this is just one big loop that I'm doing. That's the road right down there. If I had more time and energy, I'd go all the way to Horn Gap. That's a really great trail, one of my favorites. You know, for me, I'm just not an aggressive rider. I am much more interested in flow than I am in getting air. Trail junction. So like I said, Horn Gap Road. I just came from Rickety, and this way would get me down to Lithia Park up and around, but I'm going to go left. Eventually I'm going to get back up to Fell on Knee and go down. So right now I got more up to do. A little more down right here, but then I'm going to be just going up. This year, there's a mama bear and her cubs right at this little water hole. It was like, oh man, luckily they didn't want to hang out and confront me, so dodged a bullet there. This is the junction here, so I just am coming back to this. So this is the final leg of that big loop I just took. And now, dropping down to Fell on Knee. Eventually Strawberry Lane 2. Here we go. this is the one bit here that I'm gonna take. I'll take the left one. Just this little right one. Loop-de-doop. Eventually got to drop back down into that fog. Just fell on me. Hello. How's it going?
I have a hard time getting around you. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. This trail's right here. Okay. Have a good one.
You too. It's rare, but I have seen him before. It's really cute. That dog has a little pack on. He's very proud. And I guess I have met him on the trail before, and he said that that dog carries the water for both of them. See some of the fire damage here. And the trail is pretty dry right now. This fire is, I think, at least 2 years old. I just love this single track stuff. Hi, Disneyland. That chain slap, but never about. Just about to come to another trail junction and Lunch Rocks. So named, I think, unofficially, because people stop here for lunch. And most often what I'll do is I'll be on Wonder. So I just drop down from that area. Here's Lunch Rocks. Up there is Mount Ashland. You can just barely make out the weather station, that little tiny bump right there. And as you can see, there is no snow right now. So they just delayed the opening of the mountain. So they're supposed to open somewhere around now, middle of December, but maybe next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. We have a bunch of rain coming, which is why I think today may be my last ride for quite a while. Don't know. Let's keep going. Interestingly, when you're on one of these old school mountain bikes, these tight turns are just a lot easier because the length of the bike is so much shorter. Right? So when I'm on one of my big plush bikes, like, yeah, I carry a lot more speed down the hill and it's more comfortable. But those tight corners, it just takes a lot more finesse. Like this guy here, on a bike like this, is bumpier, but it's a lot easier. Sometimes I'll come up and do a little trail maintenance myself. That little drop in I just did right there was almost completely washed away, so I came up and I fixed it. It seems to be holding pretty well. As far as I know, no one else has had to work on it. It's been a couple of years. Oop, I'm out of gear. There we go. Sometimes when that chain flops around and I don't pedal for a while, I'm not gonna pedal. Like, okay, let's get back into gear, like literally. By the way, when I ride, I'm usually listening to an audiobook rather than music. So, thank you, Bill Bryson. Starting to get really pretty up in here. This fallen tree here was one of the ones they just decided to build the trail around. A little tricky. Was easier before. Camelback. Love it. This is the last bit of up. So far I've been kind of doing this on this part of the trail. Little up, little down, little flat. But I'm coming up on this last little bit of up here. So first a flat, but then up, and then all down. So I'll be dropping back down to the road that I started on earlier, which is Hit Road, H-I-T-T. Looks like a lot of that fog has burnt off, which is going to be a little brighter when I get back down. This is a good place to stop. Give you a shot of the mighty Fisher Fukuiku. Bought 1986. Three by 7. Indestructible. Chroma all the way. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is getting in my Camelback. So I got all kinds of emergency stuff in here and that water. Can't recommend this enough. And also, since you travel with tools, flat repair, all that stuff, I should have a first aid kit. I don't. And right now I'm throwing these on just because this is when I'm going to start carrying a little more speed, especially when I drop down. And I would rather not catch stones and gravel in my eyes. Funny thing about that, most people don't like that, and I am with the majority. Really pretty part of the trail here. Reminds me a little bit of Rickety. It's way higher up, but just really pretty. Trail here for people who get really crazy, but not me. Another down tree that they've just kind of built the trail around. tiny jump here. There's a little bit of a creek coming up here. It's almost always dry. There's some really rough road here, and occasionally I picked up a flat just from the impact, so I tend to go even extra gentle on this ride. So as you see, another trail junction. This is now hit road. So I came up this earlier. Now the easy part. Just got to pay attention. Here's an up guy. Howdy. There's a guy on an acoustic bike with dog. Rare on this trail. Make sure I didn't just lose my camera. Feels like it's still good. Most of them I won't be doing on this bike. It's fine. A little sketchy down here because the ground gets a little soft. This one here is just like a little one. Whoop-de-doo. Not bad. And then these two, almost nothing. And this one here, I'll do it. It's going to go very high. One thing I noticed on this ride with these cantilever brakes, definitely I feel like that forearm pump. So the levers on these bikes are just a lot longer, like literally leverage. But still, like you're riding one of these bikes, you're working those forearms, you're working that grip. And generally I'm using at least 2 fingers. So that means I have less fingers wrapping over the bars. So it's definitely a skill. It's a learned skill. And it's definitely a different feeling. You know, that 1 finger gripping that you can do when you have those, you know, really solid hydraulic disc brakes, it's a different deal. Going there. Yeah. Fun. Yeah. Almost ate shit there. So pretty. You can see last time there's a lot more cloud cover. Another one here, kind of fun. Another one, another rider. Howdy.
Hello.
There's a guy in an e-bike. Could have been me. By and large, people on these trails are pretty friendly, which I really appreciate. Occasionally you get somebody who's, I don't know, doing their own thing. Can't say hi or won't say hi, won't give you the nod. It's rare. You know, most of the time I feel like I'm part of a larger community, which I appreciate. But who knows what people are going through, right? Who knows what their real story is, what their lives are like. Mental illness, broken heart. No. This is really fun up in here. And jump. I think we got a walker right there. Howdy. Biker. So now this is technically strawberry. That's all poison oak in there. Just dormant right now, but still really awful. Those oils are still up in there. All of this stuff is poison oak. You can see we're back down in the fog. And once in a rare while I see a fox up in here. coyote, even more rarely coyote. Never seen a wolf, never seen a mountain lion. Seen a couple of bear. They're more nocturnal though. This time of year, extremely rare in the cold. You can see the flora has really changed, right? So a lot more grass, scrub oak, technically black oak, some pine, and you got the manzanita, which are these guys right here. Really pretty reddish bark interwoven with older bark. So pretty. And the other thing you have is you got these madrone again. You'll see them in just a few more moments. And this is like the final leg as I get back down to my house. So that's Medford over there. I'll take you over to this bench, place to sit, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it. No, not today. But out there is a really cool monument, which, embarrassingly, I'm blanking on the name. I'll think of it in a second. Out of gear yet again. This is what I call 7-turn trail. That's my name for it. Here's one. Going back down to the ditch road. 2. 3, 4. This one's really tight. 5. Again, if I'm on my big plush bike, I have to work to get through that one. 6. One more. Here's 7. The rest is relatively straight, a little bit of serpentine. Right here. The sunshine. And back to the ditch road. More deer. These might be the 2 that we saw coming up. I don't know. They're not scared. Well, we're just getting back down to the neighborhood, so I'm gonna sign off. It's been a beautiful ride. So lucky. If you enjoyed this even a tiny percentage of what I did, then you had a good time.